today for the Bitcoin and altcoin prices with BitcoinPrice. Guys, believe it or not, but today we are not only going to talk about altcoins, we will also shed some light on the Bitcoin situation. And I wanted to know from BitcoinPrice whether the end of the bull market has arrived or whether we are going to see the so-called double bubble with another run-up towards new all-time highs for altcoins and for Bitcoin. What specific altcoins is he actually looking at? And what price targets can we expect for Bitcoin? Guys, I can tell you, if you click this video, you are certainly in for a treat. So make sure you sit down, you scroll down, you smash up the like button to a new all-time high. You will find BitcoinPrice's link down below if you want to subscribe to this amazing channel. But with that being said, I wanted to come to the most important question of today. BitcoinPrice, how are you doing today, my man?
Well, I'm excited. This week is Bitcoin 2021 in Miami, so we're going to be heading down there the weekend, starting on Friday. We're going to be there Friday through Sunday. Sunday night, I'm in a box for the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight, so that'll be pretty fun, pretty exciting stuff. And it's always good to talk about Bitcoin, even though a lot of those maxis, I'm not their favorite person. We're all on the same side when it comes to changing the system.
Exactly. I mean, I'm more on the Bitcoin side. I'm certainly not a maxi. If I had to, I would be, but I don't have to. So, of course, it's amazing to be a little bit exposed to altcoins as well. So why not talk about them? I mean, we had, and you're a good person to talk about that specifically, we had a massive rejection. And if Bitcoin went down 53%, some altcoins were hit even harder. So now the question is, can we expect another run-up? You talked about this kind of double bubble. I talked about it before. I think Carl from the Moon talked about it also. Yeah. He had a fully dedicated video about that. And I wanted to know, do you think we are going to see this double bubble? What are the altcoins you are looking out for specifically? Because I could imagine maybe some of these meme coins are not going to come back, right? Yeah. I remember how we had the DeFi bubble in 2020 or something. Like most of these ones didn't come back. Some of them did actually. So let's talk about that a little bit. But I want to know, since it's also a Bitcoin channel here, what are your thoughts about Bitcoin as well? Do you think Bitcoin is going to go to these 200, 300, 400,000 US dollar price targets with the altcoins? So now the stage is yours. I really want to know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So when I'm looking at the charts and I rely heavily on the history of Bitcoin. That's how pretty much all year, or for a year and a half, we basically predicted the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum for the most part, with the exception of about a 2-month period where things were lagging for Ethereum. And so I've studied these charts rigorously. And what it boils down to is this. There's only 3 scenarios in my mind that we're facing. Number one, premature bear market. We certainly didn't think this was going to happen. We didn't see it coming. Came out of nowhere, starting with Elon Musk tweeting, pushing Bitcoin down very far. And, some people bring up the points of like, well, the price was already dropping. But the thing was, when Elon Musk was tweeting, it was always at the very bottom of a dump, and then it pushed it through lower levels of support. So,
this guy's crazy.
This guy's crazy. I mean, he either knows what he's doing or has no idea what he's doing, and nobody knows what the truth is.
I don't know, man. I like him, but he's crazy for sure.
He's nuts. But so the point here is this: we could be in a premature bear market, but none of us saw it coming. The other 2 options are either we get the 2013, 2014 double bubble, where we basically have a very large retracement and then the price pumps. And if you look at the retracement and compare it on the monthly candles, like this monthly candle was worse than the one in 2013. But when you look at the wicks in the 2013 dump, and compare it to the wick that we just had, it's actually pretty similar. We were looking at that on my channel this week. And so basically what that would mean is from the bottom, it would be like a 1,000% pump, which would put Bitcoin at $300,000. We'd be right on target for that. The other scenario that I think is actually, in my opinion, it's the most unlikely scenario, is that we are going to get a very prolonged bull market with a long stagnated period in the middle. I know a lot of people have floated out, Bitcoin bull run going until the middle of next year. I personally don't see that happening, but it is an option that a lot more people are talking about. And what it all boils down to is, how long are we going to get this sideways action in the middle? How long is Bitcoin going to range between 30 and 40K before making its decision to either go down for a bear market or go up? and get things going again. Because in 2013, it rebounded in about 7 days up to kind of an average height. But it did take 4 months for it to hit a new all-time high. Yeah. But it bounced back to kind of the average price of the previous month or something like that. So we've got to bounce hard and quick, in my opinion, get back up above 42K in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks. If we are going to get that true double bubble with a bounce in the middle. So at some point we got to get some momentum, and it could come out of nowhere. I know the first week of June here, we've got a lot of earnings reports coming out for different companies. And so we could possibly get some Bitcoin news there. And of course we do have yeah, it would be. And then we also have the the budget, the $6 trillion budget in the United States, that the money's going to be printed from somewhere for a lot of it. They're going to raise taxes to try to pay for it, but that's coming at the end of this month. It should be signed and ready to move. So we got a lot of moving parts, but those are kind of the 3 options that I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin.
Yeah. What is your preferred option? What is your preferred scenario? Let's say you are at gunpoint and someone wants to know, BitBoy, tell me your number 1 preferred, most likely scenario for Bitcoin. I know it's not a convenient question, but just want to know, what do you think actually where we are heading to if you would have to make a decision?
Yeah, I love the double bubble. My favorite bubble gum. You get it at the concession stand when you're playing ball as a kid. You get the double bubble. Maybe that's super bubble.
Yeah.
But either way, okay, I like that option because it fits with the history. And here's why that's so important. Because if we go into a premature bear market, obviously everyone will be miserable for about a year or two until we realize, oh, now we can go back up, but the interest will go down. Yeah. That's not good for us as content creators. But we'll either do the premature bear market, or even if we have the prolonged bull market, what either one of those things will do is it will kind of negate the history of Bitcoin that we have so far. And so that makes it harder to predict for the future. One thing I've loved about Bitcoin and crypto is the predictability of it. It's very volatile. In the weekly or the daily chart, you never know what's going to happen, or the hourly chart. But, as always, when in doubt, zoom out, and you can look at the historical Bitcoin cycles and you can draw conclusions from those. So if we don't get the double bubble scenario, then that means we're going to be facing something we've never faced before for the timing of the market. And that'll make it much harder to predict the next market based around the halving.
Which is a little bit hard to believe, to be honest, fundamentally. We have more money printing than ever before. Yeah. We have more uncertainty than ever before. And now with the lockdowns being lifted, right, and with people starting to spend again, economically, we should expect asset prices, including Bitcoin, to rise. So honestly speaking, I would be extremely surprised if we are going into a bear market. And here I'm not only talking as a Bitcoin bull, a biased Bitcoin bull. No, I'm actually also trying to talk a little bit objectively here. So I'm completely on your side. I wanted to know, as the second part of the content here, if this double bubble would actually solidify, what other altcoins you're holding? I know you took some imminent actions on your altcoin portfolio.
Yeah.
So what altcoins would you hold for this potential scenario? What altcoins do you think are going to profit the most from this potential double bubble?
Yeah, so I've been basically crucified for hedging 12.5% of my portfolio, right? Like 87.5%.
I saw a lot of comments in my videos. In my videos, people were commenting about that.
It's so crazy. It's like 12.5%. It's like, guys, prepare for the worst case scenario. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you should be doing. You should be preparing for the worst case scenario. So if Bitcoin, because guess what, guys, I didn't have millions of dollars to buy Bitcoin the last time it went into a bear market. So what I did is I moved some 12.5% of my portfolio, which was just altcoins, basically on Coinbase, smaller altcoins that I had on Coinbase, not my major ones. And I consolidated that over to USDC in case it does go down further. And even you said that you believe, like on our collaboration we did on my channel, which was phenomenal, by the way, that we could even see another drop to 30K or even slightly below before we have a big run up. So, I just want to be prepared in case we do get that drop. If it does drop to 24 or 25, so I can buy more and then sit more money to the side so it can go down. That's the smart way to do it. So with all that being said, like, my overall sentiment on the market has not changed. I'm just trying to take a small percentage of my portfolio and try to position myself the best way I can if it does go down. But when it comes to altcoins that I'm looking at right now, what I've kind of looked at this time as this kind of in-between accumulation stage is a time to recalibrate your portfolio. If you look back at the first, year of this bull run, basically since the halving of May last year, and really about, right after the March crash, so starting the beginning of April last year, and you were to say, which altcoins do I wish I would have had more of? That's the opportunity you have right now to go back in time. We've been given a time machine. We're in the DeLorean. We're going back. We're going to be able to buy our altcoins and then come back to the future and have more. And that's the opportunity that we have right now. So for me personally, one coin I'm looking at right now is XRP for sure. I think XRP is going look, long-term, I don't know what it's going to do long-term. We have to see what's going to happen with the lawsuit. What banks are going to actually use it, like the actual coin. We don't know that yet. We know they're using the products, but in the short term, it looks like they are, at least at this point, the odds-on favorite to win that lawsuit against the SEC. There's a lot of things pointing to that. If we do get the double bubble scenario and Bitcoin does start to run up and XRP is free from the lawsuit, even if they have to pay a fine or there's a settlement, whatever, I think it is going to explode because it got suppressed during the first part of this bull run due to that lawsuit. If that gets lifted, I mean, XRP can go $30, I think. Because it hasn't hit an all-time high yet. It's only got to about 50% of its all-time high. Yeah. When you look at all the other top coins, they've all hit it. So, and then obviously Ethereum and Cardano are two projects that have absolutely huge news coming up. We have with Cardano, we have the Goguen smart contracts. They say sometime between August and October, which guess when the peak of this double bubble should potentially be, right in that window. Then, of course, our Ethereum, we have the London hard fork coming in July. I believe July is going to be a very bullish month for Bitcoin and crypto based on the fact we think we're going to see higher prices. Again, we have the quarterly futures close at the end of June, so that could push prices down a little bit at the end of the month. But I think in July, we're really going to start to see a lot of movement. So it's going to be absolutely perfect timing for Ethereum. And then just two other projects, that I think are good to accumulate, VeChain and Elrond. Those are two that I've talked about. Those are really just ones I wish I had more of. But those other three are really based on the fact that they all have huge news and huge things going on them current event-wise that could affect the price drastically.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And something where I really agree on is if everyone always waited for these discounts, why now that the discounts are happening, everyone is saying, no, it's a bear market, right? This was exactly what you were waiting for. Just imagine, picture yourself going into a shoe store, right? You want to buy a pair of shoes, your favorite pair of shoes. It's very expensive. Well, then you think, okay, I will sleep a night over it. Next day you go back, there's a 50% discount. Are you going to say, I'm not going to buy it? Because it's cheaper now? Doesn't really make sense. It's the same pair of shoes. And if we are talking about Bitcoin or maybe some good altcoins, talking about the good ones also, nothing really changes fundamentally when the prices are going down. So this was a very important insight. Thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts about Bitcoin, about the altcoins. Let me know, guys, in the comment section down below. What are your favorite altcoins, or did you already give up on them? What do you think about Bitcoin? Are we still going to reach levels way past 100,000? Let me know in the comment section down below. I will personally going in and answer at least 10, 20 comments of yours if they are popping up on the top. So let me know about that. Any last words to share before we are wrapping it up for today, BitBoy?
Yeah, I just, reiterate what I said earlier is we think we know where things are ultimately heading to, but we don't actually know where things are heading to. So be smart, look at your personal investment strategy, figure out what is good for you, hedge against losses, hedge against the worst case scenario. That's what all of the smartest investors do. So make sure that you're taking account for every scenario that can happen.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thanks for watching until the very end. And with that being said, we are going to see each other very soon at the next one of MMCrypto. And as always, guys, as always, let me show you quickly my view here.
Looks good.
Amazing. As always, guys, as always, bye-bye.